Hello and welcome to Thirsties Live. My name is Laura and today we are talking about cloth diapering at daycare. So I have in here a day's worth of cloth diapers that probably actually more than a day's worth of cloth diapers that you could send to daycare. But before we get into the ins and outs of how to cloth diaper at daycare, first you have to figure out if your daycare accepts cloth diapers. So if you are watching this live, especially if you have any experience, either maybe you're a daycare provider or you send your kiddo to daycare, how does that work? And also a bunch of people are commenting on the live because yes, I recently chopped my hair off. So if you're watching the replay, that's what people are talking about. Yeah, so I chopped off like 10 inches and I am donating it to Wigs for Kids. And I have to say the short hair I'm really a fan of because it's so easy. I'm also going to save so much money on shampoo. But that's neither. Thank you, friends. Thank you, Thirsties community. I love you all. Let's get to, thank you, Lindsay. Let's get to the chat. Okay, so I did a Thirsties Live actually a while ago about how to talk to care providers about using cloth diapers. Chances are, even if your kids don't go to daycare, someone else other than you is going to need to use your diapers. So we're going to give you some tips on how to make that work. So, oh great, we've got Jen Pack, who she's getting ready to start sending cloth to daycare. So this is perfect timing. Okay, so first things first, everything just goes so much better if you can broach a topic with respect, whether you're talking to the head of a daycare center or you're talking to a grandma. Just kindness, set a positive tone, and respect is gonna go so far away. Oh, thank you, Stephanie, liking the hair. So another tip that I found, it just makes sense to me, is if you're talking to someone, especially if you have an idea that they might not be used to modern cloth diapers, you might consider, instead of calling them cloth diapers, start the conversation with something like, do you have a written policy on the use of reusable diapers? Okay, so that might actually get them to think, oh, well, what do you mean by a reusable diaper? It's kind of a way, some people, when they think cloth diaper, they do not think, cute, easy. They think rubber pants, pins, big sheets of fabric, which actually flats are fabulous, by the way. But they're certainly not the beginner novice cloth diaper, right? Because there are different folds and things like that. So daycare providers for sure tend to like one-piece systems better, or at least systems that are one piece ready to go at the change. Okay, so we also, it's really helpful. One, okay, broach it with kindness, broach it with respect, perhaps avoid the term cloth diaper, instead use reusable diaper, and ask, like, if you have a choice and you're looking for a provider, I mean, you can kind of feel them out and ask them if they have a written policy. If they have a written policy about the use of cloth diapers, you may not be able to really work with that. Okay, if it's already a written policy, I would maybe consider, if you can, looking for a different center. Okay, also know your rights. know your state's regulations. So after the broadcast, I'm going to go ahead and put a link up for the National Health and Safety Performance Standard for early care and early education programs. And so that has a lot of resources. I mean, it's very kind of legal jargon, lots of code and compliance standards, but there are very few states that have regulations that say no cloth diapers in daycare. Actually, I would need to go through and do all of that research, and I highly recommend, especially if you're a cloth diapering advocate, that you go ahead once I post that link and check it out and see what are the policies. Okay, that's right, Janellis is saying some states require a wet bag for each diaper. So they might have specifics on how to store. Well, they definitely will have specifics on how to store particularly dirty diapers. And yes, it's true. Each state is different. So you do want to be sure to do your research, know your state's regulations. Some families, some kids, they just can't do disposable because of allergies and things like that. If that is the case, you may have some luck also getting a doctor's note, or perhaps a doctor's note would help a center feel more comfortable. So really, I would just, as you're broaching that conversation, just use common courtesy, be educated, use respect, and it really will go, you catch many more flies with honey than you do vinegar, as my mom says. So, but if you also need to, say, actually, a lot of it is people don't know what cloth diapers are. And so this actually brings me to the next thing. Education is key for you in knowing how to start that conversation. Okay, so we've got someone saying in Texas they require an individual bag for each diaper. Okay, and then an airtight container. All right, so that sounds like a bin, right? And then enough wet bags for each dirty diaper. Now, is that each individual diaper, or is that just for poop? That's a good question. I'd have to look it up. Okay, so now let's say you have a center and they're open to using cloth, and so now you need to, but they've never used it before, so now you need to introduce them to cloth diapering. This is so exciting because really, if you do this right, you could creating a cloth diaper advocate who is a childcare professional. And just think of the impact that would have, right? Okay, so, hello. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so, as always, share your enthusiasm. Maybe don't be too like, cloth is amazing, because you don't want to scare them off. But share your enthusiasm. Bring your actual diapers that they are going to use and show them. Okay, and I'm going to give you some tips on what type of diapers tend to be successful at daycare. But bring your diapers that you plan to send. Another thing too, when you're showing and telling everything, is you do want to talk about just Cloth 101 type stuff. What is one of the most common newbie mistakes is using non-cloth diaper safe creams on your cloth. Okay, so when you're bringing your cloth diapers, you also want to bring your Booty Love and show them this is the cream that we need to use. Especially, it's not as big of a deal with natural fibers. If they do make a mistake and use some cream that's not cloth safe, you can just hand wash with a little bit of Dawn and it's okay. It's much more of a big deal in synthetic diapers because that non-cloth safe cream or Vaseline or whatever they use, that'll really impede the absorbency. But if it happens, it usually is fixable, okay? Daycare tips for multiples, Kylie's asking. Lots and lots of diapers, which I know for Kylie was not going to be a problem because she has an amazing stash, right? So, yep, pockets and all-in-ones. All right, so let's talk about that. I've already said bring the cloth that you're going to use, bring cream that you want them to use. Consider having that discussion of if like a rash pops up in the middle of the day and this care provider really wants to lather up that bum. If that's the case, have that discussion with them and say, you know, if something pops up, I'll put a couple of disposables in the bag so that you can use the cream that you're comfortable with. Again, it's their job, it's your kid. So it's a conversation, right? But just kind of think through some of those issues just to talk about, and remember that it's a learning curve. And so just like how you have to kind of show yourself a little grace as you're figuring out cloth, you have to do the same for a care provider who's new, right? Okay. Another thing that's really helpful, not just showing them the product, but also do a diaper change in front of them and show fit. Cloth diaper fit is different than disposable fit. Couple of tips. It works really well when you're putting it on baby. A good place to start is start with the back of the diaper pretty much right above the belly line. So if you draw a line from baby's belly to the back, that's where the top of the diaper should lay. Start it there, up, show them how to kind of froggy their legs so that the leg elastics can be right in that bikini area, okay? And also, it's okay for it to be slightly below the belly button, but no more than like an inch. You know, you also want, when you're sending your diapers to get daycare, you are responsible for having this sized and fit however your baby needs, okay? And so a lot of care providers, they prefer hook and loop. Whenever my mom is watching, yep, just like Kylie's saying here, snaps and aplex at daycare, Lindsay's saying, okay? So why hook and loop is a favorite? Because it's about as close to a disposable as you can get, okay? Show them that, you know, how tight to have it on the waist, that, you know, you still want to be able to easily slip a finger in, but you don't want gaps anywhere. Just, I think doing a demo is going to go a long way. There are also a couple of visuals that you can give them. I'll post those in the comments, or actually some of you might even have access to them and can go ahead and post them in the comments right now. But demonstrate the fit, and do let them know that it is going to be slightly different than a fit of a disposable, okay? So, oh, someone had a sub filling in at their daycare and put the diaper on backwards. Yeah, you know, and the cloth wipes. Well, okay. Do any of you guys send cloth wipes to daycare? I think that's another part of the conversation. Personally, I would be ready to be accommodating to them, especially towards the beginning. If they want to use disposable wipes and you can find a brand of disposables that works okay for your kid, I would go with that. But hey, you can ask them and show them. That's the biggest thing, is like show and tell, right? Show them. And this diaper, this is an old exclusive. It's one of my, I am using it because it's a hook and loop, but this is Galactic. It's an old Abby's Lane exclusive diaper. Alrighty, so demonstrate fit. Another tip that I think will help you plan, and also in terms of how you set up your diapers, is, here, I'll hold another diaper that you guys can get. How about Birdie? I love this print. It's so cute. Anyway, don't expect a care provider to put more work into using your cloth than they would into diapering another baby with a disposable. And the thing is that with cloth, like, that's absolutely possible. If you pre-stuff your diapers, get them all ready to go, if you have enough wet bags for them, that's all ready to go. They just change the baby, wipe, put the dirty in whatever container they need to, and just send that home with you. And then you need to put in your schedule then that you or your spouse, your partner, whoever, someone has to deal with the daycare diapers every night. Don't forget it. Actually, a lot of our working cloth diaper moms say just do it right away if you can. Set up your kiddo with a little snack and then you just go and take care of the diapers before you forget. Okay. Oh, that's awesome. So Lindsay's daycare, they love cloth wipes. That's awesome. See, and that's the thing, like, I think it's a lot of it's just education and talking, right? Talking and showing. And just like for all of us, you know, we're new to cloth diapers at one point and had to kind of get acclimated to it and used to using it. But once you do, it's like not a big deal. By the way, who has shared this video? Go ahead and share it, especially if you're in any kind of cloth diaper groups. This is really important. I think this is a hurdle that a lot of families need to get over in terms of using cloth diapers is, can I use it at daycare? Okay. All right. So another thing too is just remind them that it's okay to ask questions. Like they absolutely, like you're an open book. You want them to be successful. So yeah. Ask them. Here's another great one. Another nice hook and loop. Okay, so what should you do then? How should you, thank you, Sarah. How should you actually do this? Okay, so most daycare centers have a regulation where they have to at least check baby's diaper or a little one's diaper every 2 hours. So you should for sure have enough. Think through how long your child is going to be at daycare and at least count those hours so that they have a diaper for every 2 hours. Now, put in some extra. Just put in some extra. So let's say you have a drop off at 8 o'clock and a pickup around 5. That means that you're going to need 5 diapers to cover those hourly checks. And then I would just throw in an extra 3 or so just in case, right? And so I've got actually a Thirsties wet bag here. It is packed with 8 diapers, 2 stacks of 4. I have a stack of 4 and a stack of 4. Okay, see that? Da, 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 da. And so all they need to do, they've just got it here. Now, set your diaper up so that it's successful at any time. And you know, maybe each daycare provider is a little bit different, but I wouldn't expect them to like, oh, use this kind for nap, but then this kind you can use for any kind. Or, oh, you can add this or add that. Just set it up so that it will be successful for nap time, for playtime, whatever. And if you're using a good diaper, like here, we've got a Thirsties pocket, that should be no problem. Now, I really love, oh, you can also label. Yeah, actually, that is a really great point Amy brings up, is labeling things. Also, label maybe on the tags and also your wet bag. Maybe here on the handle, label your stuff. Okay, otherwise your daycare might try to label your stuff and like use a Sharpie on your wet bag or something. And that would probably, you know, really irk you, right? So label your kids' stuff as well so that you're doing it. A note with painter's tape. That is perfect, Amy. So there you go. All right. Now, why are pocket diapers? I really want to give a case for all-in-ones and pockets tend to be the favorites. Although some people, someone even was saying like a pre-stuffed cover with like a pre-fold, sure. Just as long, see this has a hemp pre-fold in a size 2 duo wrap, but it is ready to go on baby, pre-stuffed, ready to go. That's the important thing. Now, why am I saying, ooh, snap labels on Etsy? That sounds like fun and clever. I am so thankful for creative people, man. So why pockets for me? Okay, the beauty of a pocket diaper is that you can not only customize the absorbency, but where you put the absorbency, and because you're stuffing it into a pocket, everything will stay in place as needed. If you've been watching Thirsty's Live for a while, you know that I preach about the wetness zone. One of the ways to avoid cloth diaper leaks is to know where your kiddo tends to pee more, because not every kid like pees in the same place. Like anatomy is different, right? So know where your kid's wetness zone is and load up if you need that wetness zone. For example, let's say we've got, this is a pocket diaper and I have it on the smallest rise setting. So maybe this is a baby, you know, smaller baby, maybe like, let's say 14 pounds, okay? But this baby can pee a lot. So we're gonna take the insert. So Thirsty's Pockets comes with 2 inserts, and this baby pees towards the back. Still sleeping on the back and tends to pee towards the back. So maybe take that extra fabric and you can fold it. See here, there are snaps, different snaps. So I'm gonna fold that in like this. See that? So I have an extra line of absorbency right there, and since baby tends to pee towards the back, I'm going to put that extra absorbency so that it ends up here in the back, okay? So I like stuffing, so the nice thing about Thirsty's Pocket is that it's a sleeve design, so there's an opening in the front and in the back. So I'm going to take that extra absorbency, microfiber on top, closest to baby because it absorbs quickly. Hey Donna, we're talking about cloth diapers at daycare. I bet you have advice, right? Because your little gal goes to daycare sometimes. All right, so I'm stuffing that in. I'm putting the extra absorbency for the back because that's where this baby needs it. And have it lay nice and flat in the pocket, and it's ready to go. And if you need, you can add an extra insert in the back. Velcro pocket. Yep, that's her favorite. Okay, so whatever it is, you need to get your diaper exactly ready. Now here's another example. Say you want to use an all-in-one, okay? You can customize the absorbency in an all-in-one. You notice here, what did I do? There are 2 soakers sewn in at the front of Thirsty's Natural All-in-One. So let's say now we have a tummy sleeper. We need more absorbency towards the front, okay? I'm gonna do that with the bottom soaker and then lay this top soaker over it, okay? That's gonna help hold things in place. And this looks a little more friendly to a care provider than this. They might be like, oh, what's that lump? And are they going to feel it? And is it going to be funny? Okay, so just set it up, put it like so. Another tip, especially since you're going to be dealing with all the poopy diapers at the end of the day, one thing that makes handling the poop a little easier, fleece liners. Now you're going to need to show your daycare provider this because they might open it up and be like, what the heck is that? And do you need it? And is it absorbency? And it's like, no, it's just a liner. Just leave it in as so. But this will make spraying your diapers or dunking them or however you get rid of the solid poop, this will make it easier at the end of the day, okay? So, have them all ready to go. And also, have a backup plan, right? You need a couple of places for the dirty diapers to go. And if it's going to help your daycare provider have some peace of mind, throw in a couple of disposables that you're comfortable with the brand in the bottom of the wet bag, especially if, you know, the whole rash issue. Sometimes they see a rash and they're like, oh, I've got to lather it with stuff. Okay, if you're going to lather it with stuff, just use a disposable. Here you go. Okay. Oh, a large cotton doubler. Yeah, that is a good liner. You're right, Amy. Okay, so everything that you need ready to go. See, should I just pull these out? We're done with our chat. Essentially, those are all the tips you need. Pockets, all-in-ones. Here, I've got daffodil. Oh, what else? What else? Adventure Trail, all-in-one. Ah, here's one. So this is our synthetic all-in-one. Now, for a lot of babies, eventually they outgrow the absorbency of our synthetic all-in-one. But a really great way to boost this diaper is with a size 1 hemp insert. So you would just put that right under the soaker, have it ready to go so that you know this diaper is going to be successful for your care provider. Okay, the wet bag, here you go. Okay, this will fit. I had 8 diapers. I'm not done. Okay, straight to my heart pocket and an Aspen Grove pocket. Okay, so here, here is what I was, here's what was in that wet bag. Let me show you. All of these diapers were clean, stuffed, and ready to go in this Thirsties wet bag. And it worked for me. I just put a line of 4 in and then put the other stack of 4. Okay? So, there you go. That is it. And let me remind you again that if you can have a positive experience with your daycare provider using cloth diapers, you may be converting a cloth advocate who is a child care professional. And like some people were saying in the live chat, some daycare providers start to actually prefer cloth. And you know, that's not a surprise to us who use cloth diapers, right? Because they are very, especially, you know, even before I started working for them, I really loved Thirsties diapers because they were so user-friendly. It was easy to get a good fit with them, especially using hook and loop. Their quality product. Another thing, a little quick tip that I just thought of, if you do send snaps, there are companies that make plugs for the snap. So what you would want to do is, because a question that your care provider might be asking is, okay, well, what snap do I actually snap into? Okay, so if this is where you need to snap, you can put in plugs on all of these, right? So that you have it highlighted, this is what you need. Okay? I forget what company sells those plugs, but that's a really helpful thing. Or you can also, like Amy was saying, painter's tape, like blue painter's tape, you can write a note on it, and you can even say, like, you know, second snap from center, if you want. Just try to make it easy for them, okay? Because you want them to be successful. Just like how we do all of these Thirsties lives, giving you guys tips, because we want you to be successful with our diapers. You want your daycare provider to be successful using your cloth. Yeah? All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us this week. Next week, we are going to be talking about the magic of sunning your cloth diapers. Why is it so good for your stash? Some tips on how to do it. And yeah, just kind of getting ready for some summer fun. So that's what we're talking about next week on Thirsties Live. Same time, same place, 1 p.m. Mountain Time on Facebook, and then 1:45 on Instagram. We also are posting these now on our YouTube channel, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube. And that's a really easy way to actually share these videos, is just copying that YouTube link. So yeah, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of the input that you guys had, and happy cloth diapering and happy Mother's Day to everyone this weekend. I hope that you guys feel appreciated and feel special, because the job you do is so important. All right, take care.